Alright guys, welcome back to another live stream. So something we're going to try a little bit different this time, something I haven't ever done on one of these is to do like the chat popped up here. It's not wanting to work properly, which is rather annoying. Trying to get it to work properly because all y'all can see is my cursor. So I'm trying to make it work. I will show the chat for you guys here, but it's only showing me grabbing and moving it, which is rather annoying. So I want you guys to let me know if the music's too loud. I actually also leave the music on, mainly so I can like kind of have something to listen to. Like I said, I'm just trying to figure this chat situation out because I have no clue how that's supposed to work. I don't know if I made it too small a window. Maybe I honestly have no clue how that will even work properly. So, oh well, that's strange. Okay. Yeah, that's not gone to plan. So we're just gonna leave that all together because that's not working. So I don't know. I guess we're not gonna do that then. So the reason I'm talking so quietly is because while I don't have a roommate in this room, like it's still not the thickest of walls to go through. So it is different to say the least. But that's why I'm talking kind of quiet. I'm trying not to speak too loud. It's not that I have a roommate to be quiet for, but just out of respect for the rest of the fall as well. So, fortunately for, I guess, some of you guys, I'm on my own tonight. Hayden is unable to make it. Well, it's not really fortunately at all, because the streams really don't have much humor without him being here to want to, be involved. But he unfortunately couldn't make it tonight, which is, we have different things to do. But I did want to talk about in the stream tonight how we have plans to start a actual true automotive podcast very soon. We haven't figured out the logistics and everything. So that's kind of why we haven't done it yet. We used to do like a Caffeine and Octane pre-show podcast a few months back, which we did every Sunday. Caffeine and Octane the night before, the Saturday. We stopped doing that recently because we stopped really going to Caffeine and Octane all that much. And that's mainly not because we were sick of the show, but we're sick of the rain. So in my truck's pretty much not going to be rain capable for several more months. But I guess you guys probably did get the elephant out, the big elephant in the room here. Obviously, you guys can tell I am not at my house in, Metro Atlanta, I guess. I guess this is still Metro Atlanta, maybe. But I'm actually in my new suite, I guess you could call it. Apartment, suite, whatever you want to call it. It's pretty much a dorm, for lack of better terms. I just like to call it a suite apartment, so I'll find out where I live, because I'd be annoyed to have people find out where I am right now. But yeah, this is a completely different thing for me. I think it's pretty clear how nothing's the same here. I'm actually going to auto check real quick just to make sure things are sounding good and looking good. But as it sits right now, yeah, I'm not in my usual place, which is it is slightly terrifying to say the least. I'm not used to this at all. This is the first time I've moved out on my own. There's not a lot of room. I'll probably do like a full-fledged tour video sometime this week, which will be really short because pretty much I only have access to one of the rooms here. Because like I said, this is a dorm building, and I don't have a roommate, but there is another room attached to this suite. And I could have one. I could not. I hope not. I'm not very good with meeting new people. This is why I'm kind of really hoping that this room stays just to me. Plus, I'm not too big. I don't know. There's just a lot about it that makes me stressed. We're sharing a bunch of stuff, but I've got pretty much the essentials here. I've got a notebook for school. I've got my laptop, which I'm hoping I'm really hoping for my birthday I'll have a new, not new, is a brand new. If I have a computer I'm wanting is even older than this. Um, like a MacBook Pro for editing, to do streams on, and all that stuff. Because I feel more comfortable with Mac OS now. I didn't think I was going to become like a big Mac user until I got my Mac Pro, which is what I mainly edit on, which is going to suck. Well, I mean, granted, I'm going to be coming back here Tuesday, so I'm going to bring my Mac over here, hook it up over here, probably on this TV right here. This is actually what was originally my third monitor for the setup back home, but I wound up just using it as a standalone TV. My switch is hooked up to it. That's the only console I actually brought with me. I have either 12 or 13 video game consoles, and I pretty much only chose one home console to bring with me here, and the Switch was that was it. I have an Xbox One, but I play Forza on PC, so I don't really feel the need to bring the Xbox here, for the exception of watching Netflix on it, because Switch don't have Netflix compatibility just yet. But to say the least, I'm really anxious. When do I start class? I start class Wednesday. What's nice is for Mondays and Wednesdays, my classes are all online. I'm taking 4 classes. I should be taking 5, but the 5th class never opened up, so I stuck with 4, which is great because I feel like for making this transition, I wanted to have a smaller schedule to get used to this, and then move into 5 classes next semester. For my pretty much what happened is I'm supposed to be a junior right now, but I had to take a couple support classes back at my last school that didn't transfer. So effectively, I am 1 semester or 1.5 to 2, maybe even 2 semesters away from being a actual college junior. I got shafted in that regard, but I start class Wednesday, and my Monday, Wednesday stuff is all online. So I'll be spending most of those days here on my computer doing stuff. I'll probably do my classwork while what I would like to do is edit while on my online class, because one of them is completely taught through. At least in my old school, which was Georgia Highlands, they called it D2L, but here it's called, I'm trying to remember what it's called, Class Den Wolf. It's something to do with like wolf dens, because that's the mascot here is the wolves. Shoot, it's like their version of what we had at Highlands, which was D2L. And one of the classes is taught entirely through that, so which is really interesting because I actually really like those classes. Because it's not like you have a set time you need to go to a building or anything like that to go to class. You just log on, do whatever assignments and whatever reading you need to do, and you're done. And then the second one is what they call eCore. I don't know a lot about it. I'm probably going to do some more reading on it after I do the stream, or sometime during the next few days. And I don't know, I think it's like you log into an online class and you take notes during that, which would be nice for 2 monitors, but I didn't want to bring my own monitor here. I don't have a lot of space on the desk. Actually, what I can do, I'm going to be webcam and give you guys kind of like a brief look at the desk setup I got going on here. So we've got my alarm clock, my speaker, we got the ROG here. Like I said, I haven't brought the Mac here yet. I wanted to save time and not bring the Mac here just yet. Got a fan, even though I have complete control of the AC here and it's fantastic. So it's really cold here. I've got all of my essential stuff. The Switch and the TV. Like I said, I'll do a proper room tour, or I guess you kind of call it a house tour, later this week for you guys to watch. I still wish I could get this chat thing to work because I'd really like to have that. Just going to try it again here. I don't know if it's because I'm like in the middle of a stream. I don't know if that has something to do with it or what, but it's not wanting to actually show. So I guess we'll just turn that off until I can figure out a way to get the chat on the actual stream itself. We're going to make sure that works with the actual podcast once we start that. Do I have a roommate? I do not, thankfully. For me at least. I'm not very I'm not like the best with meeting new people that I don't know beforehand. Like if I already meet one of you guys in person, like subscribers, it's fine. But as it sits for like people I have no clue I've ever met before, especially in a case like this where I'd be living with them, it makes it a little more like anxiety ridden for me, which is why I'm very thankful that as of right now, at least, there's only on my floor. This is a very small building. On my floor, there's only like a handful of people. People either didn't. We had a floor meeting, which was kind of like just like a get to know you kind of thing, and they kind of just explained um, important stuff like what kind of resources we're available to us. They're actually setting up a group chat for the floor, so all of us will have like a look at events. If we want to plan stuff for the floor, we can. We actually have two RAs on this floor. We have one on one end, one on the other. They seem really nice, so I'm really happy about that because. Again, it's even though they're not necessarily like in the same room, it's still they do have a very important purpose here. So it does you definitely got to show up a little bit for them, but they seem really cool, which is awesome. All the people on the floor seem really chill. They don't really. I can tell they're very much like myself. They don't want to be in each other's business, which is all right, I guess. I mean, well, I like to meet new friends here. I also, I tend to stay with myself a lot, which is great. Other than saying Pikachu poster. Fun fact: I haven't actually seen the movie yet. I wanted to go see it in theaters. No one would go with me, and my parents, who actually wanted to see the movie, because I've been playing Pokemon since I was about, I want to say 6 or 7, maybe even younger than that. I started off on Leaf Green when I was in the 2nd grade. So I've been playing a long time. I really want to see the movie. I've been huge in Pokemon my entire life. It's like one of those things where like you can see it in the background of the videos a lot. I have a lot of like Pokemon related stuff hiding, my office back in my parents' house, I guess you would say now. And this is like the only remnant of my Pokemon stuff. Minus my DS bag, which is a Pokemon Pearl bag, because I grew up, playing the Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald, and Fire and Leaf Green, all that junk. And then I moved to Diamond and Pearl. That was like where my love for the game kind of took off. I really liked the Game Boy games, which is also why I have my Game Boy here. But then I grew up big in Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum, so that was like where my interest heightened, was that time frame: Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, Heart Gold, and Soul Silver. So I love those games, and as you guys can also see in the Switch, if you guys can actually see the Switch, I don't know if you guys can, because I've got the chat blocking where it would be. I do have the Pokeball Shield on right now. I bought the Pokemon Dog Shield, so I have that one. I've got a Pikachu one sitting at home. Actually, I'm gonna wind it up for you guys. I haven't lit this thing up ever on stream, but you guys can't ever see it. It's not very bright. Green is like the brightest color it has, which works fine because I have these custom green controllers for the Switch. So looks really cool. There's the theme. I didn't bring, actually, if you guys don't follow RT2, I did like a whole like Switch retheme series with it where I did like all the N64 gear, because I'm a huge fan of that console as well. Yeah, I'm a huge Pokemon nerd. A lot of you guys probably never knew that about me, but I've been playing Pokemon my entire life, and it's a game that I'm very passionate about. I'm really excited for November, so that'll be nice when those games come out finally. Because they actually look really fun. As much as people hate them right now, they look fun. I'm definitely going to pick them up. But yeah, I'm really happy about the no roommate. I made a big deal about it when my parents, because I had a different room in a different building on a different floor for this room. But we had it changed on just those reasons I'm not going to go into. And then we were on another floor in that same building, and then we got there. They hadn't even gotten the room prepared yet for a new tenant on moving day, so they moved me here. So this is where I am now. The other room was kind of like the, well, if I could show you guys the other room, they did have the door open, but my parents closed it. I pretty much had access to an unassigned bedroom as well that I could have easily just put stuff in, but that's just odd. And if they do move someone in here, yeah, they obviously don't want to open the door and see my stuff already in it. We should get a Paxton for the track. I'm undecided on how I want to boost it. I would love to do a Paxton because there's actually someone local back home that one of the like Nemesis and Azura 5.0, Azura in particular, has a really loud Paxton on her Mustang, and it's like the coolest sound ever. It sounds like a jet. Like you just like she goes by. Because I've heard it go by in that car. Because I've passed her and Nemesis both in Hiram, like around where I'm from. Um, and I've passed them there a few times. In fact, I actually filmed Azura's car because she works around that area. And one time in one of that video, early, it was the S2000 return video. I think it was after he got the clutch. But I'm really torn on whether I want to do a centrifugal blower or a roots blower, like a Whipple or like a Whipple 2.3, because they do sell a kit where you can use to get Cobra blowers. So you can use the Cobra's Eaton M112. You can use pretty much any blower that bolts up to a Cobra without the need of a different intake manifold. It'll work on the 4.0. So that's why we're really looking into getting that set up eventually. But if I don't go centrifugal, because it's really hard to get a kit. Because the one for the Mustang, the 4.0 Mustang, actually bolts on the right side of the engine, so it's where the battery would be. So you'd want to have to relocate the battery, which I don't want to do. So that makes it hard for centrifugal. I could probably get a bracket built and do a lot of custom fabrication to do it, but it would wind up costing so much more to do that versus just getting the roots blower kit and doing that. So you're selling the truck for a 5.0. Coyote. I'm guessing you're wanting to talk about Coyote. It's a good move. Be careful with, and particularly 1112s, and if you're going to go relatively new. I would honestly, as much as I love Mustangs, stay away from the 1819s. They have issues with piston slap, with really weak forks in the manual transmissions. If you're getting auto, you're fine, but on the transmission side at least. But stay away from. If I were you, I would not buy a brand new Mustang yet until they can confirm the problems have been resolved with those cars. I believe the 2019s don't have all the same issues as the 18s did. The 18s were awful. LS Eater on Instagram can pretty much vouch for that. His car is always having a new issue every week. His active exhaust stopped working for a while. He had the piston slap. He's gone through 2 transmissions. You got to be very careful with the 18s. So you're thinking 2010 or 2012. Keep in mind, the 2010, it was the last year for the 3-valve 4.6. So if you want a Coyote, you need to move to an 11. That's like the oldest you can go with a Coyote Mustang. You have to go about 2011 or newer. 2010 is when they switched the body style to the last, pre-13, 14. That mid refresh for the Mustang. Stay away from be careful when you get to 11 to 12. You don't have to necessarily stay away from them. But the Gen 1 Coyotes are known for having some lifter tick issues, so I would definitely invest in like a bottle of like Ceratec or even Seafoam to try and help clean that up if it doesn't rise, because some people have taken care of it. I want to say there was a TSB on it. I don't quote me on that, but I think there was a TSB on the Gen 1 Coyote for having those lifter tick issues. 13, 14 seems to be one of the best years to get them. 13 pretty much through 17. Any of that generation seems to be, any of that time frame I should say, because it was 2 generations, but seems to be the best areas to buy a Mustang, a Coyote at least. If you're not going to get a GT, which I know you said you wanted a 5.0, I would personally get a 2.3 car. As much as I like the 3.7 and the 4V6, it's like the best of the 4V6 line, because it pretty much did what the 4.0 tried to do, and it failed very bad. And that would be like a formidable American V6. I think, honestly, out of the group of the 3, the Challenger, the Camaro, and the Mustang V6, the Mustang V6 was the best. But if you, for whatever reason, you can't afford a GT or you don't want to pay the insurance on a GT, I would say get a 15 to 17 2.3. That'd be my recommendation. If you still want a Mustang, which for whatever reason you can't get a GT, because the V8 is good. The V8 is very good, but because I think from what I remember, you told me you're around my age, and if I can, we're in different circumstances, but just be careful when you get if you get a 11 to 12 or if you somehow get an 18 or 19. Pretty much, I think they say the 15, 16 was the best, because those didn't have any problems. The transmission was an MT82, but it was still solid. Personally, if you're going to get any Coyote platform, save up some money, because you're probably going to need a new trans eventually, because MT82s are notoriously weak, and their shifters are helping with their ties. So If you're gonna if you're gonna get a MT82 car, invest. I would say if it blows up, invest in a TR6060, or if you want to be really cool and unique, the TR6070 and the Corvette, the C7, actually bolts up the Coyotes because it's in the same family as the 6060. Um, so it'd be really cool. We'd have the first 7-speed manual Mustang. So that's something you could look into. Another thing that's really interesting, so you have the 6060 and the 6070, us 4.0 guys, if for whatever reason you want to swap a manual into your sport track, or you have a manual sport track already, the 7-speed manual out of the C7 is compatible. I wouldn't recommend it. We don't have a lot of horsepower to begin with, and you'll need some tall gears, or not tall, short gears in the back to really make it worthwhile, because it's a double overdrive setup. But it'd be really cool to have a 7-speed manual sport track. So if you want to do that, go for it. They're not terribly expensive transmissions. But if you want to be unique, I would honestly, you could also invest in that T56 as well, if for the Coyote. I know Murder 5.0 on Instagram, he has an 18 that he blew up an MT82. No, he didn't even blow up the MT82, he just took it out because he didn't want it. And he put a T56 Magnum XL on it. The thing is, with the longest gears I've ever seen. But he can go from like 60 to like 110 or something like that, either 1 or 1.5 gears. So it's a good transmission to have. But that's just like the main thing with any Coyote platform Mustang. If the transmission is going to be your weakest link, then you want to be very careful with the transmission in particular, which might run into problems. The engine stuff, it's kind of hit and miss. It really, your mileage may vary on those. You may get a good one, may get a bad one. Just be very careful with the maintenance records and all that stuff. I'm sorry, my voice cracks a lot. I'm very tired. I didn't get a lot of sleep last night, and it's been a very exhausting day, to say the least. I want to be stick as well. Good man. As much as I like, the convenience of driving an automatic every day, it gets boring after a while.